Patrick's job involves tracking the chain of custody of the hard drives.
Then we open up the safe, put them in the safe. We've got tracking sheets so we know what RMCs are, what airplane. We know who signed them out, who put them in the airplane, who took them out of the airplane.
As he gets ready to wrap up the mission, there's a knock on the door.
Our commanding officer's there, two other guys in flight suits, who I'm assuming were Air Force officers, because pretty sure that's the insignia they had on. But they were not on the ship earlier. I did not see them come on the ship, so I'm not sure how they got there. But the skipper basically said, I need the bricks off the flight. We opened the safe, we put them in the bags. He took them, he took his two anonymous officers, and left.
The officers, with the classified hard drives in hand, soon board an HS-60 Seahawk helicopter and leave Nimitz. Soon thereafter, Petty Officer Voorhees has his own visit by unknown officials on the Princeton.
Once they landed and everybody got off, then about maybe 20 minutes later, I got called in to have all my data recording tapes turned over. And then also told that I needed to reload CEC because it had been wiped. So it was, so I turned over all the tapes, and then they also said if there's any even blank tapes to erase anything else that's in the shop. Well, they were plainclothes people that came aboard on the helicopter. It was my chain of command that took control of the tapes from me. The helo left with them after that, so because we went right back to flight ops.
The link between the Tic Tacs and these men is unknown. How they became aware of the UFO encounters and how they arrived so quickly on board after the event is also a mystery.
Just to come in here, the same setup was featured in Rendlesham Forest incident. Exactly the same. People turned up from nowhere, took all the evidence and told the people not to say anything. Signed a non-disclosure document, which in our country is called secrets. It's just a gagging order. I'll try and remember it. Official Secrets Act. That's right, the Official Secrets Act. I should know, I've signed it. Yeah, the Official Secrets Act. Carry on.
The video you are now watching is the actual gun camera FLIR footage of the Tic Tac taken by a later flight. This is the first video ever released by the U.S. government showing military planes engaging UFOs. The advanced targeting pod, known as ATFLIR, works in both TV mode and infrared mode. The film reveals no control surfaces, no exhaust plume, a uniform heat signature, and no visible means of propulsion. Gary and his shipmates saw the FLIR film on their consoles and on the secret LAN aboard the Princeton.
It was a much clearer video. You could see the shape of the ship. You could see it, moving. I tried to go and get a disc to come make a copy of it, and by the time I got back, it was already off of our hard drive, off the secret LAN. No access to it whatsoever.
Petty Officer Jason Turner also saw a much higher resolution version of the FLIR film showing strange appendages extending from the object.
But it did have some protruding at the bottom of it. I couldn't tell if they were curled back or straight down.
Jason says the video was approximately 10 minutes in length and much longer than the video that has been released.
I saw this video playing, and I'd ask him, is this what we're training, or what's part of this training that we're going through? And he said, no, this is real life. And when I saw it, it was a very clear image, a very clear video, and this thing was going berserk, like making turns, like, it's incredible. The amount of G-forces that it would put on a human that this thing was doing. the jets were like trying to trail this thing, and it would just run off and leave them. It would just gone, and then it would come back, and then you would see it, and then it made a maneuver, like they were chasing it straight on. It was going with them. This thing stopped, turned, and just gone. I mean, that's the only way to describe what it looked like.
Dude, this is a fucking drama, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My God.
Just 11 years later, fighter jets from USS Roosevelt filmed this anomalous object in 2015.
Well, if there's a thing, it's rotating.
Like the Nimitz encounter, they too were conducting routine training when fleets of UFOs were encountered by the pilots. The Nimitz encounters remained cloaked secrecy for over 13 years. The first-hand testimony about UFO sightings is practically unheard of from military service members. Thanks to the brave and honest accounts of the sailors and naval aviators who have come forward to relate their experiences, and of the remarkable videos they filmed that day, the silence has been broken.
I dealt with this all on my own for many, many years, and it was not a very pleasant journey to go through, because no one really believes you. But now things have changed, and anyone out there that's struggling with this and wants to reach out, there is now a group that you can reach out to and get help and support and vindication.
It's honestly been a little relieving to be able to actually talk about it and how important that event really was, and not just keep blowing it off. There's people out here that really need to know and want to know, and you have the support of me and Kevin and my other shipmates that have come forward and decided to talk about it.
My role is to describe the story and convince people that yes, this event really happened and these objects were really real, but what they are, I have no idea.
It is something. I want to know what it is. That's the whole reason I chose to come forward to contribute to the story, because there is a story here. There is more information here. The more of us that talk about it, the better chance of the full story coming together.
And it's vindication for us that other people are looking into it, and we finally tell our story and people listen.
If you need to get a hold of us or would like to talk to any of us, Kevin, me, or any of the other guys that have come forward, there'll be an email address at the end of this video that you can contact them and they can get a hold of us.
If you or someone you know has witnessed unknown objects from military ships or planes, please contact us at the address on your screen. You can remain anonymous. As we strive to understand these encounters and come to terms with what they mean, there's something far beyond the horizon and the limits of our comprehension waiting for all of us.
I don't understand the second part. In memory of Captain Teresa Elders and Stanton Terry Friedman. You don't go into that. It sounds as though they lost their lives. I don't know. Well, clearly we do know one thing, that the government is still covering up, as it is its nature to do, the truth. Really, the truth about anything. And even these innocent sightings. It just cannot help itself, can it? Doctored the footage to obscure the truth. It just cannot help itself. That's how it is. The last one I ever actually saw, which was really fascinating, was in the SpaceX. I don't know if everybody's seen that one. that triangular craft in space. That's quite fascinating. I've put the upload on that on my site. That's fascinating. It's very fascinating, very curious as to what's going on around us. Very curious. And it makes for an interesting life, doesn't it? Not boring or anything like that. Very interesting. But to have an actual triangle out in space. That's even more interesting. And it would be even more interesting to understand why of recent date we're getting more authentic sightings of these things. That's very interesting. More authentic sightings and reportings. But there you go.